Yes, it is true. Everyone that can hear this message, I have watched a movie. This week, we've watched PG Psycho Goreman. And if you don't know anything about this movie, and this is the first time you're hearing about it, hoo boy, you're in for a treat. This movie is straight from the 80s. It's like a trauma movie come to the 21st century. A mix between Hell Comes to Frogtown, Critters, all those sci-fi horror comedies from the 80s mixed with like The Terminator. The plot is two kids, a brother and his younger sister, find this ancient alien demon thing that's very clearly evil and wants to destroy the whole universe. But what happens is once they find him, the younger sister can actually control him. Psycho Goreman is his name because they have the amulet of Gygax or Gigax or something. I can't remember all the names. They're just all outlandish names that are like poking fun at like sci-fi and satirizing sci-fi, but in a good way. It's like a love letter to sci-fi and horror and all these creature features from like the 50s and 60s and 80s and stuff. And of course there's like a good alien sect of people who are trying to stop them, but guess what? They're not good. If you've ever seen any episode of Power Rangers from the 90s, the main Psycho Goreman dude looks like one of the bad guys from those episodes. And it's just a fun time. It's preposterously fun because it's a send-up of like what we love about horror movies, what we love about sci-fi. It's insane, it's stupid, but it's stupid in a good way. It's basically like a PG-13 movie, but with lots of blood and guts. So obviously it can't be a PG-13 movie. And the play on the name PG, Psycho Goreman, is funny because it's definitely not a PG movie. Overall, I like the movie. It's very much corny and hokey, and the effects and like the costume work is really fun and over the top and clearly done in a way where it's like it's so bad it's good, but also it's good. It's good. It's not like it's so bad it's good, but it's also good. That sentence makes no sense, but I said it and I don't regret it. There are some drawbacks in the movie though, because it does take me out of it a little bit when you see like very obvious like dubbing of voices, like ADR over the actors' mouths. It's like it's apparent throughout this whole movie. I know they hired other actors to do the voices of certain characters, but it just doesn't line up, and I wonder if that's intentional or not. And I don't know if it is intentional. If it isn't, then, you know, it kind of took me out of the movie from time to time, but I just sort of forgave it after a while because I was having so much fun. And also the main character, the little girl, I don't think she learns a lesson at the end. In fact, I don't think anybody learns a lesson at the end. And that's not a knock on it. That's just like, hey, it seems like it's typical of like, if you think back to like 80 movies, like Revenge of the Nerds, the lesson that was at the end of the movie was actually a bad lesson. And so I think it's a satirical take on that. Is like in the 80s, a lot of the lessons learned were actually, no, you didn't learn your lesson, you actually learned the wrong thing. But at the same time, you know, there's a message of hope and love and perseverance. It's one of those movies where the faults of the movie actually help it out. So in a way, the things I have a problem with are actually make it more fun to watch. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it 7 out of 10 frick-offs. So far in 2021, it is the best. And who knows, we might have a really crappy year of movies ahead of us. Jared Leto's playing a serial killer next week. That could go bad. It's a love letter to the 80s horror movies, creature feature stuff, and man, I just had fun watching it. And that's my review. And you can't take that away from me. But also, I'm sorry I said that. I didn't want to be that mean, but yeah, I'm sorry. Un esercito di prodi